On Monday, we were over the flooding on I-40 when we spotted a chicken farm underwater. Today, Mitch Carr joined the owners when they boated in to check on their property. He joins us now with their story.
Usually these are people's homes. This is their yards, houses. There's my birdhouse laying out there. That yellow thing. There's our mailbox right over here.
Allison and Warren Kavanaugh usually drive this way.
We're actually on Frog Pond Lane. This is the road that leads up to our house.
But ever since Saturday, they can only get there by boat.
I don't know how deep it is on the road.
Allison and Warren owned a home, an electrical contracting shop, and a poultry farm with 100,000 chickens.
This was all cornfields.
Now it's all underwater.
Everything in there is going to be turned upside down, and all of this, whatever is in there, like we were talking about, will be inside my house.
We were there when the Kavanaughs got their first look inside their flooded home. But first, a surprise.
Ah, there's a snake! I don't do snakes. Okay, Warren, there was a snake at the back door, a little baby one.
Definitely messed up, ain't it?
This is awful.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. But I do know one thing, that the Lord, He closed the door on this, but He's going to open something else.
This is where we've been for 26 years, and it's all gone.
I don't know. I love you, sweetie.
I love you too. It's gonna be all right.
I know it.
The Kavanaughs already rebuilt once after Hurricane Floyd.
This is just bringing back memories from 1999.
Round 2 with Florence is their breaking point.
Once it's happened twice, it makes you think. But you know, we've been here 26 years. My husband's been here his entire life. But we got married 30 years ago, built a house out here 26 years ago. It's all we know.
The Kavanaughs' comfort is faith, which helped them through Floyd and through Warren's recent bout with cancer.
When this happens, I know he'll do the same thing. He will get me through this again.
The Kavanaughs have lost their home and their livelihood now in the short term and possibly forever. And they say right now they need all the help they can get. Reporting in Duplin County, Mitch Carr, WRAL News.
There are still hundreds of stories for us to tell in the aftermath of Florence, and hundreds of roads still remain closed in southeastern North Carolina, so the trip there can become a story all its own.
We wanted to get to Ivanhoe in Sampson County. Our crew found 701 down to one lane at times, 421 shut down, and side roads in the county just washed out there. Mitch Carr shows us they finally arrived in a community trying to keep moving forward despite being cut off.
Hoover Road used to take you into the southern Sampson County town of Ivanhoe. Saturday night, flooding from Hurricane Florence washed out these 3 culverts. Now Hoover Road is actually in this creek, and the road is completely impassable. But the residents of Ivanhoe have found another way to get supplies in and out. If you think this makeshift bridge is suspect, consider that before the creek water receded, the only way to cross the chasm that is Hoover Road right now was by this bridge.
And this was much higher than it was. You know, it came all above the rocks.
So Ivanhoe is that way?
Ivanhoe is this way.
And you guys are cut off?
We are cut off.
Take care, okay. The only way the dozens of people trapped in Ivanhoe are getting supplies is when Good Samaritans meet them here and drop them off.
They've been bringing gas and supplies and bread and water, everything that we need down here, they've been bringing it in for.
It's hard, but it's life.
Off to the other end.
Once things like food, water, and gas are across the creek, Russell Lee Devane gets to work.
I can't even count the number of times I made this trip since Saturday. Thousands, every hour, multiple times.
The retired U.S. Army quartermaster,
Beans and bullets.
Were you cooking?
I was quartermaster.
Distributes the supplies to his hometown. He's also providing shelter and transportation to people whose homes and cars are underwater. He does this, he says, because of his parents.
They always train me always to look out for somebody else, especially in time of need.
Right now, Devane says they have what they need. He's more concerned with just how long it will take to make this road and flooded out Ivanhoe Road passable by vehicle.
We feel actually neglected down here, especially when it comes to roads. People don't realize Ivanhoe is on the map, but that's okay. We got the Lord looking out for us, so we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be just fine.
In Sampson County, Mitch Carr, WRAL News.
The community of Wallace has been swallowed up by the Cape Fear River, and it's not the first time this has happened. Residents there are fed up.
And Mitch Carr is live in Wallace. Mitch, the town just finished recovering from Hurricane Floyd in '99, and now this.
Gerald and Deborah, this is Highway 41. It runs through Wallace, and as you can see, it's under several feet of water. People are using boats to get around. I spoke to one local man today who said that he thought that Floyd, as you mentioned, was a 500-year flood. Yet just 19 years later, his home is flooded out once again. That man was Brian Dixon. He was kind of our tour guide today, taking us around town in his boat. He said it would take an hour to get to his home by boat, but these homes that you're seeing right now, he showed us, they give you a pretty good idea what he is also dealing with. Now, after Floyd, Dixon says he got mobile home insurance that covers flooding. He even raised his home up 1.5 feet to avoid the crest of Floyd's floodwaters, which, again, he thought would not likely be that high for another 500 years. Yet less than 20 years later, he says the water in his mobile home is now 3 feet deep. He is frustrated, he feels lied to, and he says he's just going to have to move out of the only hometown that he has ever had.
We just paid everything off a year ago, and here we are at ground zero again. It seems like it's getting worse and worse every time we get flooded. So what can you do? Me and the wife, we've already made up our mind that we're probably pretty much done.
Now, Dixon is not alone. As you can see, there's plenty of people trying to make their way around town today in boats, having a little bit of difficulty. But coming up at 6, we were there when one local couple here in Wallace got the first look inside their flooded home, and what they saw made them feel like they're at the end of their rope as well. Gerald and Deborah, back to you.
Some difficult decisions for families to make, whether to stay or whether to go. All right, thank you, Mitch.